Hey y'all, this is Gail. So teaching outside today, we're doing that gentle yoga for low back care. It just tells you can do yoga anywhere if you've got all the gear you need. Yeah, well, you don't even you need gear to do yoga, so that's kind of cool. One of the breathing patterns I learned to help with reducing stress, lowering cortisol, which is reducing stress, plus what else? Blood pressure, heart rate, is the sniff, sniff, slow exhale. And what it does is you sniff, and you sniff again, and then slowly exhale. So what the heck does that do? Okay, so that opens up the lungs, and then it further opens up the lungs. So that gets rid of the carbon dioxide. So you normally do that when you're like, oh, sleeping or yawning, that kind of thing. That kind of happens naturally. So enough of that. I'm gonna get up and come over here to the yoga mat. We're gonna start on our backs. Then we're gonna transition to either being standing or seated on a chair. So you get to decide which one. My cat's going, why don't you let me out and come play? It's not gonna happen. All right, so here we go. As always, keep it between the easy and ouch. Oh, let me turn off the ding dong. There we go. Because always, right, when that comes in, hey there, let me make sure. We got a full house today. I'm teaching from outside, so we're going to start on our yoga mats. Let me turn off that ding dong. Very good. And then, very good. Come over to the chair. And of course, I always come down and bend my knees, put my hands on the chair, step back, and then the other. We're going to be on our back to begin with. So move that chair out of the way. I've got my block. I've got my strap close by. You can always do the class without the block and strap, but it's going to be more effective to do the yoga postures with access to a block, with access to a strap. So always record these. Unless there's a technical difficulty. So you can do these more than once a week. And it's sent to you as a private video. All right, it's beginner's class. Always keep it between easy and ouch. Oh my gosh, there's a cat. Let's go ahead and lie down on our backs. Hopefully you won't hear cats eating cereal or food. Woo! All right, so what we're trying to do here is just notice the surface supporting you. So, you know, your behind, your feet, the knees are bent, some portion of your back, the shoulders, the back of the head. And I invite you just to listen to the sounds that are occurring maybe outside of the room. It might be some wind, some rain. Maybe you hear cars driving by, a train. Maybe you hear the birds. Maybe not. And then turn that kind of external listening to more in the room type of listening. So it might be the heater coming on, depending on the time of year that you're playing this on, or the air conditioner. There might be a phone ringing down the hallway. Who knows, right? So there may be some other little sounds going on. And then from inside the room, let's take that listening part and just listen to the breath. As you breathe in, belly rises. And as you breathe out, belly sinks towards your spine. So we start out with the breath. So Veterans Yoga Project is breathing, meditation, mindful movement, guided rest and relaxation, and a gratitude practice. This specific class hits all those places, plus we do specific postures for easing back challenges. Anything that feels spicy, please return your attention to your breath. So from here, we're going to do what's called an extended exhale breath. So I invite you to breathe in to a count of 4. So breathe in, belly big. Well, my snaps are not very loud. And exhale to a count of 5. Let's do that again. Breathing in, belly big. Get those ribs expanded too. And then exhale, count of 5. One more time. Let's try that, okay? Here we go. Breathe in, belly big. And last time. Exhale, belly button towards your spine. Beautiful. Let's start out with some little low back twists. We'll do that with what's called windshield wipers. So the feet are on the yoga mat, knees are bent. We're in constructive rest pose right now. But what I invite you to do is take the leg that's closest to me. Now you got to figure out which one that is, okay? And we're going to drop that leg towards the floor with that bent knee. So we're on the side of the foot when that happens. Now for me, that feels a little spicy for my hips. I'm going to slide that block underneath and rest my leg weight on that block. You know what? I'm going to make the block taller because I can't quite get down to the floor. It's not about getting down to the floor. It's about, creating more range of motion. With the top leg, let's drop it towards the bottom leg. So I'm on the inside of the top foot. So that top behind is kind of rolled up off the yoga mat. You've got a little low lumbar spinal twist going on here. And again, if it's spicy, maybe you need to back off. Maybe you need to redirect your attention to the breath. So listen to the breath going in through the nose and out through the nose or through the mouth, whatever's best for you today, okay? Now, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Let's bring the top leg back to the center. And you can guide the bottom leg back to the center or just bring it back to the center on its own. Now, we're going to do that same stuff on the other side. So, switching sides, drop the second side leg towards the floor. Now, this one feels a little bit more attainable to me, so I don't need the block on this side. Again, that's because of my scoliosis, my back issues I have. And then top leg, let's drop it towards the bottom leg and just kind of hang out here. So notice the sensation that's happening with that top hip. Maybe there's this kind of pulley, lengthening contraction feeling that may be resonating up the side of the spine into the upper rib cage. Maybe none of that's happening for you at all, too. Again, you're just noticing. Just notice what it feels like to be here in this windshield wiper pose. Now, again, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. And you know what? If you didn't notice on the first time around, let's do it again, second time around. So again, first side, drop it towards the floor, and I'm on the side of my foot, and so it feels a little bit easier this time for me. My range of motion has increased. It's not as uncomfortable as it was. And then top leg, let's drop it towards the bottom leg. And you may notice your top hip really rolling off the floor. Now I kind of have, I talk with my hands, but normally the hands are down by the side or out into a letter T, or maybe they're resting on your torso. I try to have both shoulders as best I can on the yoga mat. It may be a little bit rolled up, but I kind of let y'all hang out in the pose just a little bit. Now squeeze that belly button towards the spine. Bring that top leg to the center, bottom leg to the center, and we're back into constructive rest pose, but we're going to go over to the other side. So here we go, second side. Drop the knee towards the floor. Woo! Drop the top leg towards the bottom leg. And again, notice, is there differences? Left side versus right side, first time around versus second time around? Or, may not feel anything going on here. Just, feeling stuff going on in your body. That's okay. All right, bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. And so one of the favorite things I like to do is do a posture called the notice pose. You probably know it as spinal relaxation if you've done yoga before. I think we have a new person today, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to extend one leg all the way down to the edge of the yoga mat, and I kind of shake my leg out there. If this is kind of really tight for that hip flexor, you may have to be on the back of the heel with the knee bent. Now I've got shoes on today, so it's not going to be as firm into the floor for me. Now I'm going to do the other one. Squeeze my belly button here. I'm going to shake my legs. Now because I have scoliosis, this feels really odd for my shoulders. So I'm going to roll a shoulder up and away. Oh, that definitely feels better. And then the other one. So I'm kind of noticing a big time curve happening here in my low back. Some tightness happening in the hip flexors, the side hips, the front of the hips, that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll have pain on that left side, but I don't seem to have that today. That's good. All right, so squeeze the belly button towards the spine as you drag one leg back. There you go. I'm going to look where my strap is. I'm going to creatively get it. There you go. And then slide the other foot back onto the yoga mat. Yay. All right, we're going to do a bone building exercise. Osteopenia, osteoporosis, prevention, yoga posture. Build bones while you do yoga. I love it. We're going to sneak it in. Plus, it helps with back pain. Grab your yoga strap. Now, if you don't have a yoga strap, you can always do this with hands back behind the leg. Just know that, okay? I'm going to move my block back over here in front so it doesn't fall over into that sand pit there. We're doing some remodeling here. I want to do some designs with bricks here in the sand, but, you know, it takes a while to get that done. So the leg that's closest to me, whichever one that is, again, squeeze the belly button towards the spine, lift the leg up and off, and then bring it in towards your chest. Now grab your strap. We're going to take it kind of on the halfway point along the bottom of the foot. Now I've got shoes on because it's cold outside. Normally we do yoga without shoes, but that's okay too. You do what you need to do. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and extend that leg up towards the sky. I've got my heel flexed. I'm feeling some hamstring activation going on here. Options. Bend the knee, but keep flexing the heel, toes towards the heart center. Other options are grab your strap, pull on that strap. Now, don't make it just one-sided. Push your foot into the strap. So you're going to really feel that low, whatever leg is up in the air, that same side behind, really firm into the floor. Make sure your toes are in alignment with the top of the ankle, the shin, the knee. Woo! I'm going to take off the glasses there so I can see what's going on here in that camera. Okay, very good. And again, maybe not. It's bright outside. So we got to stay in the posture about 30 seconds to have that bone building benefit. The theory is, and it's been proven by DEXA scans, and through this study by Dr. Lauren Fishman, which I'm enrolled in that study, you activate those major muscle groups, and of course major muscles stimulate bone growth. So they have clinically studied this and demonstrated varied yoga postures for easing osteopenia, osteoporosis. And make sure you're still pulling and pushing. So this is called big toe hold. Traditionally, it's taken the peace fingers and wrapping it around the big toe, but then your shoulders is up off the ground. So we like to use props. Dr. Lauren likes to use props too, to kind of facilitate this bone growth. And then from there, we're going to change it up a little bit. So that other foot's not really doing anything. So let's go tap, tap, tap with the other foot. So that's just to kind of recognize, okay, other foot, you're getting ready to do something. We're going to drop that knee out to the side. So here you go, a little windshield wiper, your counter pose, your counter weight, and this sky leg, let's drop it towards the floor. Now I can't go very far without tipping over with that opposite hip. So the objective is keep both back sides of the behind, that's hard to say, both back sides of the behind on the yoga mat, and you're still pulling and pushing into the strap. Now again, if this is bothersome for the back of the knee, bend that knee a little bit, but really flex that heel. Woo! You feel it a little bit different when you bend that knee. So, you know, that's worth like experimenting with. Bend the knee and see how it feels. Ooh, is that good? Maybe not. Are you pulling and pushing? I hope so. We had our fundraiser yoga classes this past week, and I did an extra one. I did one here. When was it? Monday night. It was outside of the time range, but I went ahead and did it. I teach a monthly class, so I said, hey, everybody. 11 times out of the 11 out of 12 times of the year, this is a free class. So if you want to do a donation, please do so, and I'll put it towards the tally. So Because of that, I was able to raise $500 towards our Veterans Gratitude Week. I'm so tickled for that. All right, so I think I've talked enough, huh? Bring everything back to the center. Take that foot out, kind of shake it, maybe rub the hands a little bit because you know they're hanging onto that strap. You're increasing your grip strength when you're really using those hands. And let's switch over to the other side. So take the strap into the other foot, push it towards the sky, and then again, so for me on this side, this one doesn't get as close to my body compared to the other side. So there's you know, but again, that's because of my back issues. And I'm going to pull and push into the strap. So I've got SI joint dysfunction. Let's see, disc degeneration, um, bulging discs, spondylolisthesis, retrolisthesis. Those are hard to say. Um, of course, scoliosis. About the only thing I do not have is sciatica. But I think the only reason I don't have that is because I do something every day for lessening my back pain. Are you pulling and pushing? I hope so. Whew. And remember, line up that foot with the top of the ankle, the shin, the knee. Oh, there's a cat. Oh, no. They tell us, now don't have your animals in your videos. Well, I'm sorry. We have a visitor today. Of course, this is outside, so these are this crazy cats who like to eat food. Yes, I hear you. Oh, my goodness. You're being silly. All right, the other foot, tap, 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 and then open up that knee, and then drop that sky leg towards the ground. So this one I'm able to bring a little bit more towards the ground versus the other without that opposite hip rolling up or off. Now what you could do as an alternative is to grab the strap in one hand, place your hand on that opposite hip to make sure you're grounded into the floor. You're pressing your shoulder, your elbow. But then I don't think that one hand pulling and pushing is as effective as two hands. So make your leg towards the floor a little bit less to get that bone building benefit. So we're getting into the nooks and crannies here with the leg out to the side. Big toe, hold, leg out to the side. Woo! Kitty. Okay, this is going to be bad. And then bring it back to the center. Great. Release from there. From here, we're going to be doing knee to chest posture. So again, the leg that's closest to me, we're going to squeeze the belly button towards the spine, lift that leg up and off, invite that knee in towards the chest and let the foot dangle. So what you're trying to notice here, how much of this upper leg is into the hip crease, or is it into the side waist, or is it up into the low ribs? So you're kind of noticing the range of motion here. While we're here, let's do some point and flex. So that's for reducing edema, swelling of the feet. And then start some ankle circles. That's for increasing joint mobility in the ankles. And reverse, go the other way. Mine never looks the same going the second direction. It's like a big, wide, weird shape. All right, and then from here, I kind of lift my behind on this side because that's, again, kind of helps my spice be a little bit less. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this with the breath, coordinate it with the breath. So it's inhale, belly big, and then exhale, contract that belly button, extend that leg out. So for me, this feels comfortable kind of halfway between like a 90-degree and towards the floor. I feel a big challenge going on in my hip here. Now, with your next inhale breath, invite it in towards your chest. Now I want to show you a modification. Maybe it's easier for you to do knee to chest and leg out to the sky with the strap along the bottom of the foot. So again, if it's with the strap along the bottom of the foot, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, contract that belly button, extend that leg out. Inhaling, knee in towards the chest. Exhale, leg out. I'm going to do that without the strap. So inhale, knee into chest. Exhale, leg out. So what I'm noticing is some little things going on with my knees, some little snap, crackle, pops. Inhale, knee to chest. Some little movements going on in the hip, some little poppy things going on. So again, this is to increase joint mobility, yeah? Couple more. And then invite it in towards your chest. Give it a nice little squeeze and release. Let's do the other side. Squeeze that belly button towards the spine. Lift that leg up and off. And then knee in towards the chest. And just kind of notice, okay, this side. Is this side folded into the hip crease? Is it into the low side waist? Is it into the ribs? For me, this side, it's not into the ribs. So again, this is where the big shift of my spine kind of makes this hip do a little weird twisty thing. But there's yoga postures that can help you like rotate, release, and have less pain. So yay. So we're going to start it up on this side. Y'all ready? I'm sure you are. Let's inhale. Knee is into the chest. And then exhale, extend that leg out. Woo! Kind of just hang out here just for a second. Kind of notice, does it feel different this side versus the other? Whew. And when you inhale, bring that knee into the chest and leg out. Again, knee in towards the chest. Exhale, leg out. Maybe the leg gets lower. Maybe it doesn't. Couple more. Well, the air is really crisp out here today. Well, because it's like 45 degrees. Feels good. Yeah, I was using my spigometer. It's a thing where you inhale and you show your lung capacity. It's a methodology to exercise your lung volume when you have COVID or when you have pneumonia or just out of surgery, because they want you to get all your air back into your lungs, right? So, I knew to do that immediately when this turned to COVID. That really helped. I would do probably 6 to 10 breaths about every other hour. And then I would lay on my yoga bolster on my stomach, so I would do the prone breath. One more. I think I talked too much. And release. All right, let's do the notice pose. Let's go back to notice kitty. Okay. Extend one leg. I was going to mess with my camera. That wasn't going to be a good thing. And do the other one. And then if you need to move the shoulders and maybe you wiggle the legs a little bit. So just kind of notice, does your back side of the body feel more into the ground? Does it feel more being in ease? I hope. That's my hope for y'all. All right. Slide one foot onto the yoga mat, then the other. Now I'm going to come up, but y'all stay on your, just turn and look at the camera. So this next part is where we're going to be doing the letter T arms with the golfer's grip. So the golfer's grip is you fold your fingers into the pad of the hands. Now, I can't quite do it on my right hand, but my left hand, man, I got down pat. That's to strengthen the stuff going on in the forearms. And we try to have the top of the hand aligned with the forearm, okay? So this cocked wrist business. Unless that's just what happens, yeah? And then what we're going to be doing is taking that yoga block in between the knees. You can choose to do the skinny width or the medium width. Do not do the big one. That won't work. Just do, again, either medium or skinny. That'll be in between the knees. We're going to be lying on our back, and then what I'm going to be asking you to do is put your hands into that golfer's grip, and then we're going to do like Supergirl, Superman arms, and bend at the elbows, and then we're going to place the back of the arms onto the yoga mat. What we'll do is squeeze the block, squeeze our shoulders into the floor. We'll do that about 5 times, and then we'll do what's called like an overhead extension. So I'm going to scoot down a little bit because I can see where I am in the camera. So I don't think that overhead extension will show, but you know what? I got shoes on. It doesn't matter. So take that block in between the knees, if you haven't already. And I'm kind of walking my feet a little bit towards my behind. Then I'm going to lay down back on my back. Actually, I'm going to put my heels on the yoga mat. Very good. And then, don't need the strap on this one, but there you go. All right, so I'm going to take my hands, do that golfer's grip, fold the fingers into the pads, and then my arms are out here like I'm getting ready to fly. Now, what I'd like for y'all to do is drop the shoulders down, yeah? And do the same with the other one. And then bend at the elbows, back of the arms on the floor. So what we're going to do is walk the feet in a little bit more so you feel that squeeze in the inner thighs. And then you take your shoulders and press them into the floor and release. Now keep the squeeze on the in between the legs. Here we go. Press into the floor and release. Press and release. Two more. Press and release. One more. Press and release. Now take the hands in front of your chest and do a little clap. I'll do that again, just because it's fun. And then let's interlace the fingers, palms super squeezy, and again, shoulders down to the floor, because mine raise up when I bring my arms in front of my chest. And we're trying to engage nice, super straight arms. Make sure that elbows look the same. One of mine likes to turn out, so I always got to think, okay, look the same. Now with squeezing the belly button, we're going to slowly bring those arms overhead. Now if you've got a range of motion challenge on one of your shoulder girdles, it won't let you go further than you need to. Just know that, okay? Think about super straight arms. Kind of notice where your arms are here. Wiggle your thumbs. Very good. Now squeeze that belly button. Bring the hands back overhead. Unlace and clap. Whew. And back to folding the fingers into the palms. Bend at those elbows. Bring the back of the arms back on down. So let's do this again. Squeeze that block. Here we go. Press into the floor with those shoulders and release. Press and release. Keep pressing. This is to increase upper body strength in addition to getting a nice little traction feeling going on from where your behind is touching the floor, where your shoulders are. Last one. That's probably about 7, right? Bring your hands in front of your chest and clap. And then clap again. That's not for any reason. That's just for me, my own entertainment. And then interlace those fingers, palms together, shoulders down, super straight elbows. Here we go. Slowly now, not fast, but slowly. Squeeze that block, squeeze that core. Bring the arms overhead. So mine increased in range of motion. So I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. Maybe yours did too. Maybe not. Whew. And then let's bring the arms back in front of your chest. Now you got to go slow. Ooh. And then do a little clap, just one clap. Rub those hands, especially if you're outside. And once again, fold those fingers into the palms, bend those elbows, thumbs are pointed towards you. All right, squeeze that block. This is the last round. Yay. Here we go. Press into the floor and release. Press into the floor, woo, and release. Let's do 3 more. 3. See if I know how to count. 2. And last one, squeeze. And hands overhead, clap. Whoops, I missed. I got to clap again. Well, that one was not very good. Oh, well. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms, shoulders down, super straight elbows, squeeze that block. Engage the core. Arms coming overhead. Oh, and I'm touching the ground, or my thumbs are. My thumbnails are. Thank goodness for long thumbs. All right, squeeze the belly button, bring the arms overhead. Last time, little clap. Yay, rub those hands and release. All right, if you got your block, we're going to do some, well, we're going to try this, okay? Now, you may need to stay in constructive rest pose. That's okay. But what we're doing next is called block bridge pose. So what that means is I'm going to walk my feet a little bit more towards my behind and then slide my block underneath my booty. And then it always makes my shoulders feel weird, so I got to walk my shoulders away, back of my head also. So again, this is to further release tension happening with the low back. This is #1 reason for finding and keeping a yoga block. Yay. This one right here, block bridge pose. Now, we've added a little extra to this posture. It's always optional. The option is, I'm going to walk my feet more towards one another, raising a leg up and then doing lymphatic drainage by shaking the leg. Also, it keeps you in the posture a little bit. Now, again, if this is spicy for your back, you're going to be in a constructed rest pose instead, because again, that's very beneficial for releasing low back challenges. Now, if you want to add a second leg to it, squeeze your belly button, maybe hang on to your block. I don't know why I said that. And then bring that leg up and shake. So the Veterans Yoga Project people are probably going, what in the world are you teaching here, Gail? Well, I just know that, unless you're moving, you don't easily kind of get rid of the waste in your lymph nodes, and they are just all over our body. So here we go, using gravity to our advantage. Let's keep your legs warm. All right, squeeze that belly button, lay one foot down, really squeeze, 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 squeeze. Then the other. Very good. Now we're going to push into the floor, raise up, peel that block out. Roll your spine down. That should be like very yummy, I hope. That's my hope for you. And then let's do our notice pose, okay? So we're going to extend one leg. Oh, that feels good. And then the other. And you might be saying, hey, it's nap time. No, it's not quite. Maybe splay the legs out, arms out to the side. And just notice that this does feel different than what we did at the beginning of class. I hope it is. All right, next, I'm trying to think here. So for Vicky, we're going to be doing cat-cow and spinal balance. That might be better for you to do seated on the chair, but for everybody else, I'm going to demonstrate this on the yoga mat. So just a little heads up there, Vicky. All right, we're going to slide a foot onto the yoga mat, then the other, and then I'm going to lift up and then turn over onto my side. That's to protect my SI joint. And then that hand that's in front of me, I'm going to push up. We're going to first do side lateral movement and seated twist. Now that, again, can be done seated in the chair instead. So if this feels cumbersome to sit on your behind, sit on the couch, the edge of the couch, sit on the edge of the chair and do these next two movements. And this is for your spinal health. So side lateral flexion. That is going to be inhaling, circle, sweep arms up, and then keep one hand up and one hand down. Now what I'm going to do is two different variations. So I'm going to slide my fingers out and then inhale, reach, and then exhale, kind of slide over my upper body. Ooh, I'm kind of feeling spicy in that top hip. And then the fun thing is kind of sliding that back. I can't quite do it. And then arm goes down. Now we're going to do the same side with a different variation. So while I show the two variations, you may want to do this next time with your favorite one, yeah? So here we go. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. And then hand goes right here by your behind, and I bend the elbow instead on this one. So inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, bend the elbow and stretch that side body, keeping both buns on the floor if you can. So for me, that's a little bit more elongating, a little bit less stressful on my side musculature. Bring it back on up and down. We're going to do the other side. So maybe wiggle those shoulders a little bit. And if you're outside, rub your hands. So there you go. Nobody's outside. It's just me. Crazy Gail. Okay, let's do this again. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then other hand goes down. And again, I'm going to slide it out. All right, get my position here. And then exhale, inchworming out. Woo! Doesn't feel as bad on this side, but it's like getting close to spicy. So I'm kind of squinting my eyes here a little bit. And then bring it back up. I have to kind of inchworm back on up and down. Now we're going to do the second version, hand by the hip, okay? But first, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Slide a hand by your hip as you exhale, reach up, inhaling. Exhale, lean over, bend that bottom elbow. Ooh, get into that side body here. This is your I'm reaching for the top shelf canned good in the pantry movement. We don't do this one very often, but here you go. Let's keep it functional and moving, yeah? Bring it back on up and down. All right, next one. Now, if you want to switch the legs, if you're sitting on your behind, please do so. For me, that doesn't feel good in my body, so I just keep the legs the same. So again, you kind of figure out what works and what doesn't, right? Again, something doesn't feel good, you got to make a little movement, do a little bit less, ask for a modification or an alternate place to be. So we're going to do hands forward, those little jazz hands forward, and then, well, no, we're not doing jazz hands. Sorry about that. But we're going to bring the elbows into the side ribs. So you feel a squeeze of the shoulders, I'm hoping. So again, an upper back strengthener. So oftentimes low back pain, where your pain is not where your problem is most times, okay? So what we're going to do here is keep squeezing, but keep the elbows bent and maybe bring them low or in alignment with the shoulders, whatever you can do. Now, tall, tall, tall as best you can. And then we're going to inhale and exhale, turn towards one side. So letting your thoracic spine do the work. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale back to the center. Re-squeeze. Very good. And inhaling, stay here. Exhale over to the other side. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale back to the center and release. All right, so we got spinal movements. We got twists. We did twists on our back. We did seated twists. We did lateral movement. Next is extension and flexion, cat-cow. So for Vicki, maybe she's going to be on the chair. For maybe the rest of us, on our hands and knees. So let's transition onto our hands and knees. Well, I've got this nice little blanket underneath here. It's really cushiony. I really like that. So I'm looking here in the camera to see where I need to be. This is my arm going. Okay, I'm going to walk a little bit forward. All right, so first, let's do flowy cat-cow, okay? So traditionally, hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. You can be tops of the feet or curly toes. And since I have shoes on, it's going to be curly toes today. But we're not doing traditional cat-cow today. We're doing one that's best for back issues, kyphosis, lordosis. Slide your hands forward, got little spread out hands. We do this a lot in yin yoga, by the way, this version of cat-cow. And then come down to your forearms. My booty's sticking up in the air, and I don't care. I'm going to spread my hands a little more apart and then curl my toes and maybe allow my behind to go a little bit more towards my heels. I get a nice traction feeling going on from that tailbone kind of to the, the bottom of the neck. Now from here, we're going to inhale and then drag your head in between the arms. Let the belly be soft. And then once you kind of get to where the wrists are, you're going to peel the forearms off, come shift forward a little bit more, and then exhale, belly button towards the spine towards the top of the room for cat posture. As you're exhaling, lower your behind towards your heels, eventually forearms on the yoga mat. You're in extended child's pose, basically. And then inhale, transition, come forward towards your hands. Peel those forearms. Exhale, curve. Tighten that belly button for that really nice little curve in the spine. Come on down. Inhale, come forward. Now, Vicki knows how to do this seated on the chair. We could do a seated class one time for low back care. I have to let you all know ahead of time, because we do things a little different when we're doing things seated on the chair or standing behind the chair. One more time. Inhale, drag it forward. Woo! Exhale, curve that spine, and then hesitate or stop, and then bring those hands back underneath the shoulders. Now, if you need to kind of do some little wrist circles here, please do so. And then reverse, do the other one. Again, that's good for arthritis anyway. I can feel my sinus stuff coming up, so excuse me while I sniffle. All right, spinal balance. This is to activate the deepest held layer of our back muscles called the multifidi. When multifidi muscles go to fat, they often recruit other muscles to do their work, therefore back pain. You may or may not feel this muscle, but we're going to try to really work it out here in just a second. Affectionately known as bird dog pose, but I was taught it's called spinal balance. So what we're going to do is take that right hand, slide it out like we did for flowy cat-cow, but we're on the fingertips here, okay? And then take that left foot, extend it. It may come off the yoga mat. And take that heel and push it away. So get a little calf contraction there. That's just a bonus right there. And then from here, inhale, belly, belly soft. And as you exhale, draw that belly button towards the spine. Lift the leg. Whoa. Lift the arm. There may be some wiggling. Is there some wiggling? There's some wiggling. Woo! Inhale, arm and leg down. Exhale, bring it back to the center. We're going to do all that same stuff on the other side. Did y'all feel that happening? Something going, that's my word for it. All right, take that left hand, slide it out, fingertips if you can, and then right leg, push that heel to the opposite end of the room. Sometimes I don't know my left from the right, so I'm like thinking, and you're probably wondering, why is she pausing? I'm trying to think, is that left or right? Who knows? Let's breathe in, belly soft. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Lift the arm, then lift the leg. Ooh, that one's a little bit more difficult. Your nose is looking down at the floor. Head aligned with your spine. And inhale, arm and leg down. Exhale, back to heart center. Let's move with that, okay? So inhale, slide an opposite arm and leg out. Exhale, lift that arm and leg up. Inhaling, arm and leg down. Exhale, arm and leg in. Woo! Inhale, arm and leg out. Other arm and leg out. Exhale, arm and leg up. Belly button towards your spine. Inhale, arm and leg down to the floor. Exhale, bring it to the center. Let's do one more each side. Here we go. Go for the back. Inhale, opposite arm and leg out. Exhale, arm and leg up. Woo! Inhaling, arm and leg down. Exhale, back to heart center. Other side last time. Yay! Inhaling, opposite arm and leg out. Exhale, arm and leg up. Inhaling, arm and leg down. Exhale, arm and leg back to the center. Beautiful. Now we're going to be doing our standing or seated yoga postures. I got to turn around because my chair is over there. So again, I have spicy back, so I use the chair to help me get up off the ground. Move my blanket out of the way. Otherwise, you can bring a leg up in between the hands. You got to really curl that back toe, have that front knee bent, lift that back. I'm going to put my hand on the chair. Lift that back knee, and then hop walk that foot towards the other foot. Now I've got nice bend in my knees here. You can either hinge at the hips and stand up, or, so you won't see me on the camera on this one for standing. So I'm going to switch to being seated on the chair. But everything you do on the chair, you can do seated, standing. So what I'm inviting you to do is to have your feet point at 12 o'clock, depending on if you're standing or you're seated, okay? So there you go. So I'm looking at my feet. They're pointing towards 12 o'clock. Okay, very good. We're going to do our 8-movement meditation. Looking at our time here. We'll be doing also a warrior 2 posture and a tree posture. So for tree seated on the chair, we can make sure you have your block close by, okay? Okay, so here we go. So for this, you're standing up. Again, you're pressing your feet firmly into the floor, whether you're seated or standing up. And let's bring those palms forward, kind of wiggle those shoulders a little bit. Sometimes they get a little congested here with all that movement we were doing, and it kind of just feels good anyway, yeah? So from here, palms are forward. Now, it's going to look different seated on the chair, but basically what we're going to do is inhale, gather in, so the arms go in front of the legs. Exhale, raise it up to shoulder level. Inhale, let's open up. Kind of squeeze those shoulders a little bit. Exhale, gather it back in. Press those feet firm into the floor. Inhale, flow it towards the chest. Exhale, push it out. Inhale, descend. Exhale, open up. Let's do that again. Inhale, gather in. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, bring it towards the center. Inhale, flow towards the chest. Exhale, push it out. Inhale, descend. Exhale, open up. One more time. Here we go. Inhale, gather in. Exhale, rise to shoulder level. Inhale, open up. Exhale, gather in once again. Inhale, flow towards the chest. Exhale, push it away. Inhale, lower. Exhale, expand. And then inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, now if you're seated on the chair and you want to continue with your warrior two posture, we're basically going to step a leg out to the side and we're shifting over to that side. What normally happens is our center is in the center, our chest is in the center, but to make this a little bit more dynamic, we're pressing firmly into the floor, turning our torso out and over the leg that's in front. Then you're going to swoop the arms up into a letter T. Now just pause for a moment because I'm going to transition and show the standing behind the chair version or on your yoga mat version. Feet wide, lift a heel, turn a foot, bend a knee. Now make sure that your knee is tracking with a toe or two and that you're not like leaning out or over. Try to have those shoulders over the hips. I'm kind of hop my foot out there. When you're not barefoot on your yoga mat, you don't have the kind of the traction that you normally do. It's a little different type of feeling. So I said our arms out into a letter T, right? Yeah? All right. So you have the option of turning your chin over the bent knee side, if that's available, or you can keep your face over your chest. But we're going to move with this posture. So those of you that are seated, keep your legs where they are, pressing firmly into the floor, but everybody else, inhale, hands to heart center, straighten your leg. Exhale, bend that knee, arms letter T. Inhaling back to heart center, straighten that leg, hands to heart center. Exhale, bend that knee, arms letter T, or half of a T if you're like me. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, bend that knee. Beautiful. Stay here, really push into the floor. Here we go. Here's your bone building in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2 posture. And really squeeze those shoulders like we did when we, were doing the twists. Very good. Now, hands back to heart center. Softly straighten that leg. Pivot that foot. Walk it in. Now, if you're seated on the chair, step the legs together and then step out to the other side, okay? And again, you're shifting your weight. You're turning your torso out and over the leg. Have those letter L legs happening, and you're pressing firmly into the floor with those legs. Arms to a letter T. Now I'm going to transition to standing for our standing people. And I went ahead and turned my foot. I used my chair to help facilitate that. So there you go. I always use a chair to teach classes, so just kind of know that. Because, again, I've got back challenges, and it's just easier and safer for my body to do that. So, again, knee, toe alignment. You need to go wider. I have super long legs, so I have to go wider. Yeah, feels more comfortable to me. Now, once again, let's bring those arms out into a letter T. It's a little bit different this time. Seated chair, folks, keep the feet firm into the floor, okay? But here we go. Straighten the leg, arms go up. Exhale, bend that knee, arms letter T. Inhaling, straighten the leg, arms up. Exhaling, bend that knee, arms letter T. feel my foot sliding there, and I hang on to the chair. Inhale, arms and legs straighten up. Exhale, bend that knee, arms, letter T. Stay there. Press firmly into the floor. Press, press, press down. Really squeeze those shoulders to the opposite ends of the room. Beautiful. Hands back to heart center or on the chair. Pivot your foot. Walk it in. Very good. So for those of us seated on the chair, grab your yoga block because this is tree posture. Take your block. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I usually do the tiniest height, okay? And you can't see it, can you? I'm just going to verbally describe it to you. Step on your block and then turn your foot out to the side and come up on the ball of your foot. Come up to the edge of your chair. So again, pressing firmly into the turned out leg, pressing firmly into the balanced leg, hands to heart center. So you're getting, again, weight bearing into that kind of the leg out to the side business. It's very similar to our standing version of tree posture. Stepping a leg out, turning a foot, bending the knee, bringing it in. Now it could be here on the floor, it could be into the calf, it could be into the inner thigh, whatever you can manage today. So again, my invitation to you is to make sure as best you can, leg out to the side, whatever position you're choosing for your tree. Now for me, I've got this dance of the foot that happens. So the chair for me is like, you know, my little confidence builder, yeah? Arms can go up or arm or whatever you can manage today. Be tall, try to really lengthen up. You can hear the train, can't you? There it is. And release. Let's switch over to the other side. So shift your block over to the other side. Bring that knee out to the side. Really press, press, press into the floor. Step a leg out. Turn that foot out. So you've got one knee one direction, one knee the other. Lift your heel. Bring it in. So this side, I only go really low. And that's okay. You're still balancing on that one balanced foot because you're on the tippy toes of the other. And you got that leg out to the side. Really try to be tall, 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 lengthening. Maybe arms can go up. Maybe not. Can on my side. Breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. And let's release. Let's come down to the floor once again. Some of us like to use the chair for our final relaxation. They'll slide the legs up on the seat of the chair. Be sure to have your blanket close by. If you have a room that's cold today, to cover up, or you can roll it underneath the bend in the knees. That's often very beneficial too. But let's get back down onto our backs, onto constructive rest pose. So knees bent, back on the floor. Very good. You may notice your heartbeat here too. So what we're going to do is extend one leg all the way down. So we got to do that little snapshot. How does it feel now compared to the beginning of class? And then the other. Now the hands can rest on your torso, out to the side. And again, you always have an option of maybe knees bent and legs on the chair. So what some folks do is they'll have their knees bent, feet super wide, and drop the knees towards one another. That's often very yummy for the back. Or again, they'll roll that blanket underneath the bend in the knees. And during this part of the class, I come up to the camera and we do the guided relaxation and rest part of class. So I invite you to get comfortable. You may have to wiggle around a little bit. Notice if one part feels a little bit more tight than the other. Let me just adjust that a little bit. Goofy as all get out, right? That's okay. So I just invite you to get comfortable. You know, for me, usually my right side feels super tight to the ground versus the left, so I'll just kind of shake that shoulder out, and I'll do the same with the other side. And then, you know, one leg feels kind of stuck on the ground, kind of wiggle it out a little bit. But if you wiggle one side, you got to wiggle the other side. Yeah, beautiful. So whether your hands are resting on your torso, out to the side, wherever you have them, let's just kind of notice again the sounds that we hear. Let your hearing kind of radiate beyond the room that you're in. See what you can pick up. Maybe you hear some wind chimes. Maybe you hear a train. The heater coming on. The clock ticking in the room. As you hear these sounds, just let your body continue to melt into the floor. Allow the floor to hold you up as you sink, settle down into the yoga mat, into the earth. And just notice that you are breathing. Notice the places in your body that are moving as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Let's extend that breath again. So let's breathe in to a count of 4. Here we go. Breathing in, pausing, and slowly exhale. Once again, breathing in and exhaling. And again, inhaling, let that belly get big. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Let's come back into the present, back into the now. So let's do a little bit of movement, whatever feels okay for you. Maybe it's the fingers. Maybe it's a little wiggling of the toes. If the knees are bent, maybe you can just do a little side-to-side movement. Or maybe bring the knees into the chest and do a little movement from side to side. And if you wish to join me in a tall seated place, then I invite you to bring your legs over to the side. Pause for a moment. Take your hand that's in front of you, press into the ground, and drag yourself up. And maybe stretch those arms opposite ends of the room. Ooh. And do the same for the other side. Got to do the same for the other side, right? Oh, yeah. That feels great. And then either place the hands on your lap or at your heart center, stacked hands, or maybe you do the prayer mudra, hands into the sternum here. And I invite you to drop your chin down towards your heart center. That's in gratitude for you coming to practice today. It takes about 3 to 6 times to kind of get into a yoga groove. So if this class did not resonate with you, maybe check out somebody else's class, or, I send out an email where you have an opportunity to ask questions. I'm more than happy to ask questions or answer questions. I can ask them too. Anyway, with this chin down towards our chest, or looking into our heart space and thinking about something today that we are thankful for. And let's bring that something that we're thankful for into our heart space and just kind of hold it there for a moment. Very good. You can keep your chin towards your chest or lift it up. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude. let's pass it on. Okay? Namaste, which means the light in me honors the light in you. I'm going to end the recording